I used to detail out of a $2,000 Chevy HHR Mobile for 8 months, had 160,000 miles on it, and now we're $1 million+ company in about 4 years. It's like an addiction, bro.
I never thought about it that way. That's true.
Dude.
You can look at Google to see search terms. We started seeing color PPF wrap.
Any type of marketing is marketing. Good marketing, bad marketing, it doesn't matter where it's coming from. It grows the industry as a whole. And that C8 has already landed us multiple other C8s and multiple other jobs. It's made his money back.
So you're saying that's a sales tool?
It's a sales tool.
100%
yes,
tax write-off. I feel like coffee and entrepreneurship are like peanut butter and jelly. No?
Don't disrespect me.
That's my favorite.
You know, I know we're still trying to talk about business. We'll have some fun with it. You know?
We're gonna have some fun. I think you've always maintained a really, really good attitude. I mean, you went through some struggles. I mean, that's to say the least.
This is how we're starting the fucking podcast.
Is it?
Is it? Is this it? This
I
is
don't
it.
know.
I got him. I got him.
It might be. Is
I
this
figured
how
it
it
out.
is?
Yeah, I see what you're
I don't
doing.
even know if we're rolling. I didn't even ask Apollo
You're
if we're
sneaky.
rolling.
You're sneaky. You're a sneaky guy.
I told you I changed the way we started.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've been through some crazy struggles, but at the same time, recently, I mean, not even recently, year over year over year, you keep growing. Now you're a $1 million business. You doubled the size of your shop.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of the highest reviewed shops in the state of Arizona.
Say it, Race.
There
Say
it
it
is.
from the hills.
There's a lot of stories behind that.
Preach it.
But now, you know, I've noticed, man, you've always kept like just such a strong mentality, such a positive attitude. There's times where I would call you, you're like, yeah, man, I slept under a table last night.
Yeah. Paula's standing right in front of it.
You're just cracking jokes the whole time, and
Yeah.
like you haven't slowed down. But then, you know, to add on to what you've done in the past couple of months, which brought us here to this day, right, to the Automotive Mastery interview.
Yeah.
You got out of that trap of. And I know I'm throwing a lot at you here, but you got out of that trap of doing everything yourself, running everything 24/7. Now you have way more time freedom. You have a business that's bigger than it's ever been. You're getting married next month.
Yeah.
Dude, like
a lot of things going on. Yeah, man. I mean, it's been a journey, you know. I mean, we talked a little bit about it, and when it comes to, you know, owning a business, there's nothing else like it ever. You know, it is one of the most difficult thing, maybe the most difficult thing an individual will encounter. And it's not just owning a business. Anybody can own a business, but actually trying to grow the business with the people inside of the organization is one of the hardest aspects.
I mean, you're
know?
it's the modern day gladiator, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's you go out there, you're doing it on your own. If it's to be, it's up to me. Blood, sweat, and tears. It's your baby. It's your empire.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's one of the loneliest, darkest places you can get into.
It is, because when everything goes right, it's great, you know. But when everything goes bad, it all falls back on you, even if it's not your fault.
Yeah.
You know, and in reality, it is a tad bit your fault, because you put everything in place when it comes to systems and procedures, the employees, the training, all of it to get you to that bad spot or that good spot. And it's going to go both ways. You know, it's never going to be perfect. And that's something I've been learning to accept throughout time, because I'm that type of guy that, you know, if the office ain't clean, I can't work. You know, if the shop ain't clean, I can't work. If things aren't put back. So it's like I carry that throughout everything, even the business structure and all that too. But I just have to learn to go with the ebbs and flows of everything that's going on and just adapt to the reality of what business is. And business is ups and downs on a constant level.
I mean, you're supposed to have issues, right?
Yeah.
You have to, in business, as an entrepreneur, or anybody who's trying to accomplish anything in life, you're supposed to have fires and issues and problems, because growth exposes your biggest weaknesses. And I don't care who it is. I don't care who you are, what you say. Like, when you are going through change and you're reinventing yourself, that's painful. You have to forget who you were in the past to step into the person that you're trying to become, and you have to shed off that old skin, and that's a painful process there.
Yeah, it's
a lot of people are good at hiding it.
It's a lot of growth. I mean, we've all seen the stats. Like 60% of small businesses in the first year shut down. Yeah. You know, and another 20% shut down the next 3 years. So we're in a very small percentage of individuals in the world that are trying to make it happen. And when you're in that top 1%, top 5%, you're going to encounter the most struggle, because you're doing something else different than everybody else. And when you're doing different correctly, not only is it rewarding, but it is going to be the most challenging.
So now that we've painted a pretty accurate, I think people would say that's a pretty accurate picture of entrepreneurship. I mean, man, you're a young guy. You were young guys.
Yeah.
How the heck did you build $1 million company at 26?
One
One of the highest, let me say it again,
yeah.
one of the highest reviewed shops in the state of Arizona.
Yes, thank you, my man. It took a long time to get to that point. It's a lot of, of course, everyone says a lot of trial and error and this and that. I would say the biggest thing that helped me build the company is knowing my place in life, in general.
How do you
because
mean?
I feel like a lot of business owners get into a business to make money, get into a business to have employees, get into business to build a brand, build a name, whatever, prove the parents wrong, prove this person, whatever it may be. I went into business because I felt like it was my responsibility to do so, because business ownership, entrepreneurship, and paving your own path is so different from what 90% of the people do just being employees, right? And we need small businesses. I mean, 60% of the employment marketplace, employee-wise, is employed by small businesses.
Right.
It makes such a huge chunk of the country that we live in, and I wanted to be a part of that. It was like it's just my life mission. So even if shit hits the fan, 48 detailing fails one day, who knows? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what happens at 48 Autofilm Mastery. The country in general, there's a lot of turmoil going on right now when it comes to different aspects of politics and international things going on. I'm still going to be running my own business, and my business is my life, right? We all have an opportunity to grow ourselves in a way to put ourselves in a position to have success, right? And for me, my responsibility for myself, my family, the people around me, my fiance, and just the life that the universe, God, whatever you believe in, placed in my hands is to do that, So there is no other option for me. I'm going to be a business owner.
100%. I don't think you would be a very good employee.
I would suck.
I think that's for the top performers. Yeah, that's the case most of the time.
My head is so hard, guys. I'm so hard-headed. Like it's crazy. I'm a good listener when it pertains to business and my business. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everything else, dude, I give Samandra such a hard time. Samandra's my fiance. I give her such a hard time, and I'm difficult to work with when it comes to that perspective. But she also knows, and my employees also know. Everybody know that I'm doing it for the betterment of the goal at hand, which is growing us successfully together. Man,
I love what you said there because, I think every entrepreneur goes through that phase where they do everything, and you have to go through that phase, right? I mean, going up to the $250,000, probably up to $500,000 mark. If it's to be, it's up to me. Like I'm doing it all on my own. It's just me. I could do it better. I'm gonna step in. I'm gonna do it all. But then that gets old pretty quick, and to get to that $1 million mark, you have to stop doing everything. It's like you have to completely reverse and relearn everything. You have to do the opposite of what you've done to get to where you're at, right?
Yeah.
You built your team really fast recently. How, tell me about like your mentality when it comes to team building, building a team, attracting talent. Like what was your strategy recently with that?
Yeah, it's trying to find tidbits. We always say like, I wish I could have like multiples of me. I wish I can copy and paste Ray and make 3 of them to handle all these things, right? Well,
me too.
Exactly, right? Or you copy and paste myself as a business owner, be able to handle everything. Well, you can't do that, sadly. We're not there yet. So try to find tidbits of what you see in yourself and others, right? And, we talk about A players, B players, C players, and all that stuff. I've tried hiring C players, trying to bring them to B players. I don't have time for that. I really don't. I just don't enjoy that process because like it just doesn't work out for me. So I try to find my A players, turn them into B players, try to turn them into A players, that type of thing. But I just try to find tidbits of myself, the motivation, the passion for the car industry, the dedication to a work-life balance and lifestyle, and they might not have everything as an employee, but with those tidbits that you find, you can improve upon and provide more of them through yourself and by setting an example. You know, one thing that the team has learned, of course, and your question is going back to like, how do we grow this thing? Of course, it's with the people that we have currently, right? It's not just me, but I set an example for them and they set an example for me. It goes both ways, right? Because I think as business owners, we get to that point in life where it's like, maybe I could take a step back from this a little bit. Maybe I can relax here and there, take a weekend off and this and that. As soon as you do that, trust me when I tell you this, it's going to bite you in the ass.
Oh, big time.
It does. It just does. We're not Jeff Bezos. We're not Elon Musk. We're not these types of things. We are small business owners. And when I say, I think anything under the $5 million mark is a small business.
Oh, yeah.
Anything under 5, even 10, when you take it all into consideration.
I really, where my mind just went right now is this idea that goes rampant in our industry that you can build a self-sustaining shop with 2 or 3 people. With 2 or 3 people. That, I've seen that bite people in the ass more than anything else, especially right now that the industry has way more competition now than it's ever had.
Yeah.
There's more demand for the services now that we've ever had. And what that means for me and you is the bag is bigger, right? So everybody can make a lot more money, but you can't be average. You have to raise the standard in every category of your business, every department inside your business.
Yeah.
And you trying to stay at home and work from home or go on vacations all the time while you have 2-3 people at your shop. That's not a self-sustaining business. That's not a business that's going to grow and operate by itself, because the minute one of those people gets sick, there's no one to cover. The minute you find out one of those people are actually stealing from you because there's no one there.
Yeah.
I love what Aladdin taught me this. Aladdin said, unprotected money teaches people how to steal. And if you think about that for a second, when you're not around and you only have 2-3 employees, I mean, mind you, maybe it's family, then that's okay. But your goal should be to let your family step back one day too. What's the long-term vision? You can't build 3, 4, 5 shops with just 2 or 3 people managing them.
Exactly. You might be able to sustain it for a short period of time. That's understandable. But when I look at business, I really try not to look at the business perspective and the American mindset towards business. I look at more so at the Japanese culture. There's businesses in Japan that are older than our country.
That's true.
0 bankruptcy filings, successful to this day. And they are very, like, we think long-term. You go to a business plan of American business and you can see long-term goals. It's like 6 months out. What the hell is 6 months?
Hey, 2 years. 2 years.
2 years, right? Like, it's like,
where's your 10-year plan?
What is it? Where's the 10-year plan? Are you looking to be around in 10 years? Like, it don't matter to me at that. Like, it's a very different mindset than what we have here in the States, because we're the type of companies, the type of businesses that drive hard, make as much money as possible. And who cares what happens in the end? We'll deal with that later. We'll file bankruptcy. It is what it is. I could always, do this, do that. It's not a big deal. The Japan mindset towards business is very, very different than what we have. And that's my mentality towards it. I'm not here for a short time. I'm here for a long time. We're both young. We got a lot of growth to do, and that's our responsibility to do that.
I want to go back to 48 detailing for a second, because that's, you have that solid business, you have that solid foundation beneath you, and the sky's the limit at this point. I mean, you even got a podcast studio now.
I did this for you. This is for you, Ray.
I appreciate you. Thank you, man.
This was all for you, bro. Ray mentioned he wanted a podcast from him. I'm like, I'm going to give him a podcast from. And that's what I did.
I love it. I can't, and you're going to start making more content, right?
And we're going to start making more content,
I can't
too.
wait.
Exactly.
So subscribe to be the first to know. More than half of our audience doesn't subscribe.
That's typical.
Isn't that crazy?
What's wrong with
Isn't
people?
that crazy?
What
If you're
people?
watching right now,
hit the subscribe button.
We're going to get to 1,000 subscribers pretty soon here.
That's good.
I'm excited for it.
I think we're almost at 16,000 right now on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Seriously?
Yeah.
Man. So then we're going to make some, let's make something on 40 detailing, and
let's do it. I'm telling you, Autofilm Mastery right behind the Apollo right there. It's going to look good. And make
that
sure
wall
Apollo
right there is going to have Autofilm
there
Mastery.
too. We need a memorial of Apollo right there too, right? With the camera and everything.
You go. A shrine for Apollo.
Shrine for Apollo.
For those of you who don't know, Apollo is our director at Autofilm Mastery. He makes our content look really good. But let me ask you, so you recently expanded. You doubled the size of your shop. How did that come about? What was the most challenging part about expanding your shop? Because it's it's connected in the same building.
It's in the same building. We're 2 suites apart though, and it's very difficult. With the amount of migration coming into AZ and the growth in the West Side, Surprise, Goodyear, Buckeye. Prices of leases skyrocketed like crazy. And not only that, it's hard to get a spot, right? So when I heard that the vinyl shop over there in the corner was shutting down, and the guy was moving to Texas, I contacted him ASAP. I'm like, I'll take it. I'll sublease it from you right away, you know, and that's what we did. And it's a corner suite, got great marketing with the wall and the glass and everything. I knew we needed the space temporarily with busy seasons, but I knew we were going to need the space in the long haul.
Right.
So might as well just jump on it. Took us about like a month and a half to get everything cleaned up, set up the way that you guys saw it with the walk around, and it's been doing great ever since. You know, it's been a great asset to everything that we do, and also just being able to split up detailing, correction, the dirty work from all of our film application. My gosh, it's awesome. You don't have to stop somebody from correcting to lay down a hood anymore. You know.
So how do you keep growing? How do you keep innovating? Most people will get stuck at half of what you've done. The majority of our industry is that three-man-ish shop that we were referring to earlier. And as you know, my goal, I want to help grow the industry. Like why we do these interviews, what Media Tune does, what Automotive Mastery does, is I want to help people grow. I think that if I can solve the most challenging problems for business owners, if I can tackle the most challenging problems in general in business and sales and marketing, then that's going to make me a better business owner. It's going to make me a better entrepreneur, and I can bring that back to my team and my family. So, like, why are you able to continuously grow year over year? You have not slowed down.
It goes back to, you know, me personally. I'm never really satisfied with much, you know. Like material, like when I bought my Corvette, right? You think I'd be giddy about it, but halfway through the drive, I'm like, it's got a steering wheel, it's got four wheels, and it goes forward and goes backwards. You know?
Is that why you put the custom 48 detailing badges on it?
I put the custom 48 detailing badges for the people. You know, it's like that car was specifically for marketing purposes. You know?
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is like I'm never comfortable with like what I have. Like I'm always in the state of just like content. And when you just content, you get bored. You know, you always are looking to want more.
You sound like a visionary entrepreneur personality type.
It's just my personality too, you know. It's just like keeping the drive forward, keep moving forward, because it's like there's people out there that have done it, that have reached that $10 million mark, that $20 million, that $1 billion mark, right? It's like why can't we do it too? I mean, I always go back to the Simplot family. I don't know if you know them. They're from Idaho. They own a potato farm. They're top 50 richest families in the world. You know why? Because they signed one contract with McDonald's.
Wow.
So if they became top 50 richest families in the world selling a 5-cent potato,
right? Why
can't we do it off of detailing? You know? And I know there's a lot more that goes into it. It's a very simplistic way to look at it, but the idea is still in your head. You know, and taking it out of your head and putting it on paper is the first step. And then taking it from paper and put it into perspective with the business that you're in and put it into action, that's the next step. And then going through the trial and errors of those actions is a step after that. And you just continue step after step, little by little. You go from crawling to walking to running to falling to crawling to walk. It just keeps going and going and going and going. And this is going to happen. It happened to me at the $100,000 mark. Happened to us at the $500,000 mark.
Right.
It's happening at the $1+ million mark, and it's not going to stop. Even more so that we grow.
With that being said, what is your goal right now? What's the goal right now? I know you're getting married next month. Yep. Congratulations on that. You guys are going to have an amazing wedding from what I understand. I'm excited for it.
And hopefully all the individuals here will be attending. We should be having a little over 500 people showing at the event. It's going to be a big one. I'm excited, looking forward to that. And going back to your original question, mind saying it again?
So what is your focus right now? Because what I've witnessed over the past, I would say 6 months, if it's safe to say, you've expanded the business, but you've also stepped back and allowed yourself to work less. And sometimes growth is not just an increase in revenue. Sometimes it's growth in the amount of time the business owner has, the time the entrepreneur has.
Yeah.
I said this last year at our conference, at the Automotive Mastery conference. I said, you know, at some point in your business, you got to prioritize your time more than how much net profit you're taking home. Again, don't put yourself in a bad situation. I'm not saying lower your lifestyle or anything like that, but eventually prioritizing building your team to buy back your time so you can let go. That's what's going to get you to the next level, because you have time to actually have deep thinking time, that deep thought process time that's going to give you that ability to think 10 steps ahead, 12 steps ahead. So is that where you're at? Are you still prioritizing your time? I mean, you got a lot going on.
Time is always a priority. I mean, it's the only resource that we can't buy. You know, it's the most valuable thing for any human being on planet Earth. I mean, I'm sure a person that when they're on their deathbed, the last thing that they're asking for is another $1 million. They're probably asking for another 5 minutes with their family, or another day for them to do the thing that they always wanted to do, right? So time, most valuable resource for anybody on planet Earth if you actually care about life itself as a whole, right? What my main priority right now is because I personally have so many things going on with the wedding and getting married and all that stuff and house and running the business. It's the people and making sure that they're taken care of and they're growing to make their time valuable too. You know, making things more efficient in the shop. Growth, of course, when it comes to the perspective of leads coming in, following up with those leads, right? That's been a really big priority for me, Nora, and Bella.
Right.
You know, we spent a lot of time the past 2 to 3 weeks just making sure how can we categorize things coming in through TintWiz in a way where we can follow up with them properly and sift through the bad and go with the good, you know, and see what potential we have there, right? But my time is still going to be used here at the shop to maximize everything that I'm talking about, right? Almost like me being the brain for the operation and trying to figure out how to make things a little bit better, little by little. You know, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And of course, the team does know I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. I'm more happy to lay down PPF, detail a car if need be, if we get really busy, something gets delayed or something of the sorts. You know, I'm more than happy to do that. That's where my time is spent right now. Yeah.
You told me something recently that I thought was huge. I think a lot of business owners can learn from this. You took your whole team aside. You wrote down, you basically made an org chart.
Yeah.
And you said, hey, here's everyone's individual responsibilities. You pulled the whole team together. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because there's some people who don't even know what an org chart is. I like to call it an accountability chart because it builds transparency in the whole organization. So like, tell me about the change that you've seen after you did that.
Yeah, you know, just saying somebody to somebody is fine, but also putting it on paper is different because there's historical evidence of that, right? You know, like we always hear about legends throughout history, but when you find it on a tablet or you find it written on a wall, it becomes more imprinted in human civilization, right? Same thing goes with everything that we need to do on a daily basis. So responsibilities, everything's been typed out, passed down, sat down, talked with each one of the employees. This is what you need to do, or what I would like you to do. You don't need to do it. You don't even have to be here if you don't want to. You know, but This is what I expect from your position, right? Now, at the end of that conversation, if you need help with any of it, I'm here for you. You know, if it seems like it's too much for you, let me know. Not enough, keep me posted. I can add some more responsibilities for you. But I think it's very important to list out everything everybody has when it comes to responsibilities and keep track if those responsibilities are being taken care of or not. You know, whether it be your PPF tech, whether it be your window tinter, whether it be your salesperson, everybody has certain tasks and things that they need to do throughout the day so this whole operation can keep going. I mean, compare it to a car. I like comparing things to a car. If your transmission just says, I don't feel like shifting gears anymore, what's going to probably happen? You know? And at the end of the day, we're all a piece of the vehicle, making that vehicle move forward and getting it to the place that we need it to be.
So you said your main focus right now is basically sales, marketing.
Yep.
Was it hard for you to stop installing?
Oh, dude, it's not hard. It's irritating, man.
Oh, yeah?
That's what it's like.
I didn't expect that. Why is it irritating?
It's like an addiction, bro.
Yeah.
Seriously, no, it's serious. You catch yourself. It's honestly an addiction because you've been doing it for so long.
Oh my! I never thought about it that way. That's true.
Dude, it's an addiction. It's an itch. It's like you see him. Oh, dude, I can lay that down a little bit better.
Apollo, isn't that Mike Norton right there? He'll hover over the newest car. Oh, he calls it his lab. His shop is not a shop; it's a laboratory to him.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I see that contamination. I can lift it up and remove it real quick and rub it out a little bit, you know? That's seriously what it is.
What did this just turn into? I thought this was an interview.
I told you it was going to be a funny one. Yeah, but seriously, it's like an addiction. It's like you see things out of the corner of your eye. You're like, I know I could take care of that real quick. I don't even bother the guy that's being paid to do it. Let me do it myself real quick, you know? And you fall for it. You just do. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, you said it. You fall for it. It's a trap.
It's
to
a
me,
trap.
It's a trap. It's a trick. You know, especially when you get to the $1 million business or above, man, you gotta stop. You gotta let go of the vine. You gotta stop doing stuff because the second you step into it, well, first of all, now you're leading by a bad example. You're showing your team that when they need something, you will step in. You're not giving them the opportunity to innovate or learn how to overcome those decisions or make that judgment on their own. I mean, how would it feel? Imagine if every issue didn't come to you, but only the solution and what they did to overcome the issue came to you. So now you're like, oh man, that was a great idea, good job. But at the same time, it's a trap because it takes away your time on doing things that only you can do as the business owner, only things that you can do as the visionary, the idea guy for your organization.
For sure. And there's a balance to that too, though. You know, like I also have to make sense to myself of like my time is valuable for specific tasks, but also my time can be utilized to help out in situations that do need assistance, you know?
True.
As at least in the position that I am, you know, we're not to a level of maybe some other shops out there, even though we are doing great from where we were to where we are now in a short period of time.
Trust me. I've met with over 1,000 shop owners intimately, like one-on-one talk strategy, and you're on the way for that.
Thank you, my man. But I also have to have the understanding of like, I need to do whatever I need to do to make sure we keep our reputation. My customers are happy. My employees are happy. The shop is clean.
Set the standard.
Everything.
Set the standard.
I set the exactly. You know, it's take out the trash. You know, I saw an Instagram reel the other day, like what people think business owners look like. They're walking in through the door with a suit and sunglasses, grabbing paperwork from their assistants, reading it, slamming on a table. And then in reality, the guy's mopping up the floor, cleaning the toilet, taking out the trash, and then serving a customer. We need to do what we need to do. You know, it is what it is. Until we get to a point where it's like, I have fulfilled that.
Right.
And I always have the opportunity to utilize my time for this specific task, which might be more valuable than doing that task. But until we get to that point, we just got to do what we need to do.
I want to double down on that. Let's transition right here. I want to transition into the beginning when you really first started experiencing that growth. Tell me when you first identified that you needed to step back and stop doing certain things, and you were ready to empower people, delegate and elevate, and empower people to start doing those things that you just should not be doing anymore. Like, when did you identify that time in your business?
I identified it most likely about August, November of 2023. I took action upon it December of 2023, and we kept growing it since then. You know, because we've had a lot of ups and downs in the business. You know, when we started, I was originally called Carnuba Detailing. I partnered up with my partner John back 2020, transformed it to 48 Detailing. Right? Then we split up about 10 months later, $35,000 of lawyer fees and a $50K worth of settlement here and there. You know,
remember that.
The setback there. You know, I had to restructure my mindset because when like you said, this is our baby, and when somebody's trying to take away or take it, it takes a toll on you.
So you were less than a year in when we started working together?
With John?
Or just in general? So Carnuba...
In general? So Carnuba was about a year in, you know,
then
2019, beginning of 2019, and then we created 48 Detail in 2020. That's when we started working together. You remember John.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Yeah. And John's a great guy, you know, and all respect to him and what he wanted to do.
Right.
It's just that he had so much going on that he just did not have the time and effort to put into growing the company. It could have been sustained with the amount of time he was putting in, but, you know, I wanted to push this thing forward, right? And, you know, after that, a couple setbacks here and there and ups and downs like we spoke about before. I forgot your question.
I know, because
it's a story.
Well, I got another question now.
Yeah.
I want to know what the biggest lesson was, or what tips and tricks, advice you'd give to somebody who's struggling in a partnership.
In a partnership?
Yeah, but basically what I wanted to talk about was, what was the moment that you identified that you had to step back? And in the beginning, you know, you're talking about your first year with 48 Detailing. How did you ramp up to where you're at now?
Just continually having an understanding that I can't do this alone. You know, I can run a $500,000 shop by myself. I'll be here all day and night. You know, that's just the nature of the beast when you want to do it. When you want to do $1 million shop, you will not, like, you can't. That's impossible doing it by yourself, you know.
I mean, it wasn't too long ago when you were sleeping on this couch.
Yeah, exactly.
I finally seen the couch. I didn't know it was that couch.
Yeah, I mean,
that's not a. You could have picked a more comfortable couch, you know.
Dude, it's Amazon, $80, bro. Come on.
The slim margins, huh?
Yeah,
slim margins at the time.
Exactly.
So what was that? Maybe a year ago? A year and a half ago?
I mean, it was only maybe about a year. It was 2 years running about a year ago, where it was just constant, just me waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, here until 1, 2 o'clock at night. I mean, there was one day, it was a 3-day period where we had a Dodge Durango Hellcat in for full body mat transformation. My previous employee needed to go overseas to go visit his fiance, you know, and his flight was leaving a bit earlier than expected, or whatever the heck happened, and he had to leave. We were only a full front end to his full body.
Oh man!
I had 2 days to 2-3 days to finish this. I stayed at the shop for 3 nights straight, you know. And it was just lack of sleep, a couple naps here and there. I mean, it got to a point where, like, I was on the last and final night trying to finish this thing. I was hallucinating. I was hearing things, you know, like you see things out of the corner of your eyes, nobody there type of thing. It was like maybe 3 days straight of maybe like 30 minutes worth of sleep, you know, but I had to get this thing done.
How big was the shop? I mean, how big was your staff at that time?
It was just me and Mark.
Just you and Mark?
Just me and Mark. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it was just me and Mark at that point in time. You put yourself through that stuff. I mean, I tested the limits of my body. I tested the limits of the business at that time with the staff that we had at that time. And I realized to myself, this needs to change.
Why didn't you just call the customer and tell them I need an extra day? Like,
because I'm just not that type of guy. I'm just not that type of guy. You know, it's just like, that's how I am.
I mean, you're a military guy.
Yeah, it's like I got dates. It could be that. I hate delaying things. You know, we got the job done. The customer loved it, but it was to the detriment of my mental health.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. And, you know, a couple degrading health and health scares of 2 years doing 80, 100-hour weeks straight. You know, it takes a toll on you.
But that's the grind. That's entrepreneurship, right? You're supposed to stay there.
I know you're being sarcastic about this. Yes and no, right? Yes and no. Listen, we don't all have the luxury, right, to take a weekend off sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, we have to understand this. You want to run a business, it's a luxury to have the opportunity to go to the gym if you want to go to the gym.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a luxury to have a Sunday off.
Yep.
When you get into business ownership, everything that you know, let's go military as a civilian, all luxuries. You have to earn your way to get to that point.
100%.
And that's what I did. I had to earn my way to get to that point.
And sometimes you're not going to be able to see that end goal. You have to have that blind faith sometimes.
Yeah, you do have to. There's a lot of blind faith involved in it. And when you're stuck in that hole, it's like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. It is what it is. But you know in your head, there's going to be light sooner or later.
It's going to be something.
You know, it's going to be there sooner or later. But yeah, that's one thing. If you guys can take anything away from me, a lot of people are very what's the word? Spoiled.
Yeah,
it's spoiled.
Yeah,
you're spoiled. You think you should be able to leave the shop at 5 o'clock and go to the gym and hang out with friends.
Yeah,
you know, you think you should be able to have Saturdays and Sundays off because you're a business owner. Those are all luxuries.
Yeah, you think you're supposed to be able to stop working at 5 because you have the 9 to 5 and you reached a certain status.
You think you should be able to get a 30-minute-hour break and have something to eat. You're human, right? Luxuries, all luxuries. That's all it is.
Like we both said, to a certain point.
To a certain
point. There's years that you put in to grow the business, blood, sweat, and tears.
Yep.
You sacrifice. Sometimes you don't know when that end goal, where that road's going to end, or when you're going to finally be able to take that Sunday off.
Yep.
So you have to be smart about it. And you know, something that I preach all day long to anybody who knows me or anybody I work with is, man, I'm obsessed with books. I stay in a learner's mindset. I never stop learning. I mean, shoot, I would be a hypocrite, right? We own a training company. We own Automotive Mastery, a educational platform, right?
Yep.
But surround yourself with mentors, watching stuff like this that's industry specific, people who are going along the journey that you are currently on. That's what's going to help you condense decades into years and take years off of that learning curve, right? So
Yeah.
staying focused, staying dialed in, not complaining, having that blind faith. I think that you are definitely a testament to that. Like, again, we just got done talking about you had some health scares. You slept in the shop. What was your mindset going through that? Why didn't you call the customer and tell them, I need an extra day?
Because I made a promise to my customer, and me personally, this like moral and value wise, I do not like going back on my promises. And I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. I've not been able to completely fulfill some promises, but I go back to the drawing board and try to fix it and do it again, But it's very important to me because we think of it from our perspective, right? Listen, we had the vehicle for a week. Shit happened. My employee decided to leave a little bit early for his trip. It is what it is, right?
Right.
I told the customer a specific day. I'm going to deliver it on that specific day, unless something dramatic happens. I had a 24-hour day, couple of them, right? I did the math in my head. I'm like, technically, that's an extra 4 days right there. I'll stay all night, get this shit done, and call it a day. I put myself through it because I wanted to put myself through it. Like people ask me, like, why did I join the military? I didn't enjoy the military for the benefits. I enjoy the military for the status. I enjoy the military for the money. There's no money in the military, I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. Okay. I joined it because I wanted to.
Yeah.
I want to see what it was about. I wanted the experience. That's all it is. And sometimes it's nice to go through a shitty experience.
Yeah.
Because it reminds you how good you have it sometimes. It reminds you, it scares you a little bit not to go back to that point again. Not to go back to that 100-hour week or that 3-day period that you've been sleeping at the shop. It sucks sleeping on an $80 Amazon couch, okay? Yeah. It really does, And I did it to myself. I accept that fact. I got to a point after 2 years of running myself in the ground, having a little bit of health issues and gaining weight and testosterone level fluctuation and a couple little heart problems here and there. Started taking care of myself again. I learned from my mistakes.
Yeah.
But now I know. And now I realize how not bad of a situation that was. It was part of the whole business lifestyle that we're talking about. But now I know not to go back there again. We're in a better place now. We got to continue to move forward. 2 steps forward, 1 step back, right? But I have no pride in the way of me doing things like that again if I do need to do it. That's just how I am. If I need to go back to doing a 7-day week and a 100-hour week, it is what it is. We never know what's going to happen. The economy can crash tomorrow, or it can skyrocket to the moon and we all are millionaires. Who knows? It is what it is. That's just a part of the life that we live in. There's a lot of things that we just cannot control, and I accept that fact and you just keep moving forward. That's it.
So you're saying you're not riding all on Bitcoin?
All on Bitcoin?
Yeah, you're saying you're not going to ride it all. You're not trying to.
It's not there yet. I do have some beliefs in the whole cryptocurrency.
I'm totally
thing.
just messing with you.
Yeah, no, I mean we're talking about a subject. It's gonna get there sooner or later. I mean, when the credit card came out, they're like, "What the hell is this?" When cash came out,
That's true.
We trade with chickens. What are you talking about?
That's true.
It's like cash. I'm gonna give you a goat. Okay, it is what it is. We're gonna get there sooner or later. It is what it is.
So, going back to 48, what's the goal right now? Where are you going this year? What's the goal for 2024?
Oh man, I gotta get past this wedding thing, dude. I am tired of invitations.
That's one thing I really appreciate about you. I think that you prioritize your time, you prioritize balance. You're not just sacrificing it all for the business. We just talked about how it at some point it should consume you. You should be obsessed. You should be waking up thinking about it, having dreams about your business, because that's what gets you to the ability to build the team to where you can step back one day.
Yeah.
You got to experience that. But now, you're in a different chapter. Clearly you're in a different chapter. The team's bigger. You're stepping back. You're probably thinking about your next hire. You're getting married. You have the healthy work life. Well, it's never a balance, but you have a balance-ish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you going on a honeymoon after the wedding? Or are you planning on taking it easy? Or
1 week.
1 week. You gonna go for a week?
1 week and we back to it, bro.
Get back to the grind.
Back to it, dude. Yeah.
I mean, I know you also have your product line. We got some products here too.
Got a couple over here.
Is that a big goal for this year?
That I would say that's going to be a big goal for this year for sure. Trying to push that forward. We've been having great sales in store. It's just getting our online shop rocking and rolling. you know. And it's like you said, it's a balance, but it's kind of difficult sometimes trying to get an online shop rock and rolling and dealing with customers and dealing with content and sales and leads and, hey, I got a question. Hey, that hood we cannot do. Well, you need a hand with it. You know, you expect to get into your day trying to plan something and do something, and then something else happens that takes away your time, you know?
Right.
And it's not because you have bad systems and procedures in a way. It's just part of doing business. There's always going to be a different hat you need to wear throughout the day, and that's just part of the system, you know? And your systems and procedures can be great. You can have great employees, but shit happens, you know? It's like you have an amazing car, your tire pops on the road. It happens, you know? It's not the car's fault. It's not the tire's fault. You hit a nail. That's all it is. So
that's what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
That's what
I like comparisons, bro. Yeah, very simple.
You have a lot of car analogies. You're a huge
car analogies, dude. Life is like a car, man. It's like a car. Honestly, it is.
So now, I mean, you're talking about creating content. Are you going to go into the YouTube channel, make some more content?
Yeah, we've always been on YouTube.
Guys, we interrupt this program because we have a special announcement from Automotive Mastery. The long-awaited 90-day tinted course is now ready. It's available. If you go on automotivemastery.com right now, you guys can sign up for the 90-day tinted course. The goal of this course is to help management learn how to train a window tinter from scratch in 90 days. Management course is in this, and then there's a second course. It's 2-in-1. The second course is for your window tint installer. Imagine how big of an impact it would be if you had one more window tinter inside your business. Could you step back? Could you stop installing? Could you stop window tinting? The goal here, guys, is this is the first step. This is the first thing that a new tinter or management should give a new tinter when they first identify talents. What do you do when there's no more talent left in your market? Sure, you can relocate somebody, or you can train somebody from scratch. Mike Norton and the Automotive Mastery team have come together to put together a proven system from a master trainer, and it's Robert Moreno and Mike Norton inside this course. We're going to show you guys, we're going to give you guys a week-by-week breakdown on how you can train this person so you don't have to be limited by the talent that's inside your guys' market. So if you guys haven't seen it yet, go to automotivemastery.com right now and sign up for the course. Back to the interview.
I realized the whole video thing was important back in like a while back, you know. It was 4 or 5 years ago I was getting into the content game. And if you look back at all our videos, I got YouTube videos when I was just like enthusiastic, like this DIY detailing, and back in 2015, you know, on YouTube. And one of them has like 4 million views or something like that. And it was the crappiest video ever, man, dude. The production level, the audio was
horrible. What'd you film?
How to compound and polish a car. I think, I don't know, 4 million. I think maybe it's like 2.5, 3 million or something by now.
I didn't know that.
Okay. But I've always been posting videos on YouTube. It's just the consistency is a bit difficult here and there. We had a great Z06 video that we did, that review that you saw. That got posted pretty recently. But yeah, I try to push something out at least once or twice a month when it comes to YouTube content. But it takes care of like the Instagram Reels and TikTok videos and stuff like that. Nice. I take care of more of the larger productions in a way, you know?
So we're going to see more content from Zaia, right?
Yes, you're going to see more content from
and
Zaia.
Is that why you started the product line? Because you had some of your early on your success to YouTube channel?
I started the product line because I envisioned what I wanted from the business. Right now, I'm not looking to have a shop in every state. I'm not looking to open up another one on the east side in a way. There's still a lot of potential to be had in these 2 shop locations that we have here in Surprise, Arizona. Mm-hmm. You know, these are full potential. These are $2 million shops. With the right amount of staff and everything going properly with the marketing and leads and sales, we could hit $2 million easy, you know. The product line is subsistence for revenue, you know. And I wanted to make the product line because my customers, they don't have direction, you know. And they don't have direction because they don't know who to trust at the end of the day. So they go on Amazon, they see some recommendations, and just because the product has a 4 or 5 star review, they purchase it, you know. Right. But little do they know, it's not the best option for their car, their coating, and this and that. It might not be the easiest product to use, that type of thing. So I wanted to create a line that was very simple for consumers. This is not for detailers. I'm sorry, guys, I don't care about you detailers out there. You do not give me money or make me money, right? Everything when it comes to content, everything that we do is for our consumers. That, final.
So let's talk about the services, because do you mainly, is coating your number one revenue generator? Is it film? Is it tint? Is it PPF? What's the number one? I know what it is, but just for the audience,
Yeah,
what's the number one revenue generator for you?
Revenue generator. So there's a difference. You got your revenue generator, right? But then you got your actual net revenue. Okay. So PPF gross is going to be the highest revenue generator for the company. But when you look at margins in a way, coatings are going to be your best bet at the end of the day, because this film costs and installer costs, you can get a great coating tech for $50,000, but a great PPF tech, you're paying 75, 80K plus.
Right.
So your costs associated with a PPF application is far greater, and the risks involved in a PPF application are far greater than a coating application. You got high spot coating, you polish it out, you recoat, and you're done. You mess up on a hood application, that's 30 minutes of removal, another 2 hours of application, tuck. After it's all said and done, that's another $200 out the door just for a mess up. So I would say PPF gross wise, then coating, then tint, and then detailing and tint are fairly matched right now, because we've never really had too much of a focus on tint, which is stupid because we're in Arizona. We should, But dude, it is so hard to find a good tinter, man. It really is. It's hard to find just film techs in general.
I mean, did you hear about the new course?
Of course I did. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
That's why we came out with it, because we're at a stage in the industry where the demand has definitely outpaced the supply of installers. And what do you do when there's no good quality installers left in your market? You can't find anybody. I hear this naturally. I work with business owners for a living. And I mean, almost on a daily basis, I have somebody saying, I need a PPF installer, I need a Window Tint installer, I need some kind of installer of some sort. So there has to be, there's really only two options. And after Mike and I and the Automotive Mastery team have really talked to some of the biggest guys in the industry, we find that there's really two routes they take. Either one, either A, you hire someone out of state and relocate them and you pay for them to come out, right? And you're still limited, because now you're taking installers from outside of your market, people who are outside from where you're at.
Yeah.
Or number two, you train from scratch.
Yeah.
Well, Mike has a killer system on how you train people from scratch, and that's what the 90-day tinter course is. Yeah. So maybe you'll be one of the case studies. Maybe you'll be a testament.
We could be. So I mean, right now we have an amazing tinter, Heather, stellar, sweetheart. Girls are so good at doing these types of things. Their attention to detail. They do not deviate from instruction. Guys, we all have a little bit of ADHD in us. We all have a little bit of it in us.
Especially if you're a business owner.
Especially if you're a business owner.
You get the idea of the week every week.
Exactly. So, but females do an amazing job. Anytime I had a female detailer, tinter, PPF, they've always been stellar. You know, and Heather is no exception. She's amazing. Kyle, amazing. I'm so thankful and so blessed for the employees that I have, because we're all on the same page when it comes to the business and life. We all know where we want to take this. We all know how it's going to grow, the process of it growing. It takes time. It's a cake that's got to bake, baby. That's all it is. We got all the ingredients. We're all here for it. Just got to give it some time. Got to let it bake.
So so how big of a cake are we gonna make with Window Tint? When can we get that going?
I got a sugar tooth. You that triple shot caramel that you got me. I got a sugar tooth, bro. The biggest cake ever.
I mean, Arizona, it's a hot market.
It is a hot market.
Tint will be a major thing. I mean, is that what's going to bridge the gap into the $2 million mark for 48 detailing, or is it more PPF in your opinion?
I think it's a combination of everything. Like the old saying goes, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket." And we had our eggs in a couple of baskets a while back, and now we're trying to expand with the product sales, with the tint, with the PPF. We're getting into vinyl and color changes and everything like that as well. And that's, something about, I don't want to deviate too much. The color change thing, I'm still got a little bit of hesitancy towards it, just because of the market that we're in specifically. But all of it's going to result in generating revenue to that $2 million point.
Well, let's talk about the colored PPF. What is your thoughts on that? I mean, you hear it from the manufacturers, you hear it all over the industry. Right now, it's like the big buzzword. Color PPF is coming.
Yeah.
Color PPF is here. I mean, we just had Tesla not too long ago announced that they're going to start doing full body colored PPF wraps.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of controversy around that.
I've seen Rivian's matte wrap, so it's nice and choppy, you know.
It
really is. I love the gloss accents in between the matte film, you know, on the edges and all that. They do a wonderful job. I don't know if that's purposely installed or, you know, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't care what manufacturers say. They can barely build a car.
You know, it's interesting to
You
me
know?
from my side, owning a marketing agency, we have advertisements in every major market. I mean, 30 plus states all across the country.
Yeah.
We spend millions of dollars with our partners in advertising these services, PPF, Window Tint, all those things. Well, as soon as Tesla made that announcement, we started seeing search inquiries on Google all over the country. In search terms, you can look at Google Ads to see search terms. We started seeing colored PPF wrap, all these search terms all over the place. So it actually helped us. When Tesla made that announcement, you know, you think they're just gonna go with Tesla every single time? Of course not.
Yeah, and any type of marketing is marketing. Good marketing, bad marketing. It doesn't matter where it's coming from. It grows the industry as a whole. I mean, the auto aesthetic industry as a general. I mean, that's detailing, film, vehicle customization. It's almost $6 billion strong. You know, and it keeps growing year after year. I mean, take into account inflation, right? But typically it's a 5 to 10% growth year after year when it comes to our industry. And, you know, it's twofold. We got more people coming into it. It means more competition, right? But it's also the awareness of our industry and what we do and what people want, right? You know, the whole COVID crisis, whatever you want to call it during that time, it put a really big strain on the automotive industry, which we are in that umbrella of, right? We're not just in the detailing industry. We're not just in the film industry. We are in the automotive industry. That's what we associate ourselves with, right? When you go to a detailing convention or a film convention, where is it? It's at SEMA,
Right.
Automotive, right? It's not at this and that. So there's massive growth in the automotive industry. And I think that's just because it is something that people look at as an investment, but also twofold, they look at it as a part of themselves. It's a representation of their personality, their character, the car that they get, the things that they do to it, and people look for these types of services, right? So whatever Tesla does, whatever Rivian does, it's going to benefit us, but it's also going to remind us not where to go. You know,
Right.
You know, you see what I'm saying? It's a reminder. I mean, we see it on the PPF forums all the time, and I don't pay attention too much to Facebook and stuff like that. I don't spend too much time on it, but we see that $2,000 full vinyl color change. We see that $995 full front application. We see that $5,000 full PPF color change application.
I mean, if you look at car culture as a whole, right, there's less ways to customize a car now. Let me take a step back here and talk about the EV market. In California alone, over the past 5 years, the EV market grew to 22% of all new vehicle sales.
Yeah.
They're saying over the next 2 years, I could fact check that. Pretty sure it was 2 years, it might be 1 year. They said it's going to grow from 22% to 36% of all new vehicle sales.
Yeah.
California is committed to banning gas car sales by 2030. 9 other states have committed to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Right. There's less ways to customize those EVs. You can't put an exhaust. We just looked at your C8.
Exactly.
You're putting a really nice. Car culture loves to customize their cars.
Yeah.
They love to spend money on their cars. So with that in mind, we're watching the transformation of car culture as a whole. And it's just a natural pivot to go towards the film industry.
You're going from mechanical customization to aesthetic customization when it comes to these electric cars, because you can't really do too much mechanically, and that's completely understandable, you know. And like you said, the growth of electric cars. Me personally, an electric car does not suit me and my lifestyle. But not yet. No, you're completely right. Right now, it just doesn't suit me personally. Just because
you're not okay with the fake engine noises. You don't want come on. It sounds the same as what you're gonna do to your C8.
Well,
I'm just messing with you.
I know, right?
I know I got under some people's skin there.
No, seriously, it's not under my skin. It's just not for me. It is the way that the world is moving. That's correct, but I believe personally it's moving a little bit too fast based off of the infrastructure that we have and the problems that they're running into. But sooner or later that we're gonna get there. We have so many companies pulling in and we have so many companies pulling out of it. It's a mixed bag right now. We don't know exactly what's going on. It could just be, and you know, like this generation of electric cars, they weren't the first generation. There was electric cars 100 years ago,
Right.
you know, and just wasn't working out. And we could go a little backwards and then move a little bit forward later down the line. But like you said, it is going to have an effect on the aesthetics of cars and wraps and things like that. My thing is like, you know, people are running themselves to the ground when it comes to these applications, and it sucks to see because, you know, there's so much potential in what we do, and they're not destroying the market. There are always going to be cheaper people out there. It's just we have to work a little bit harder when it comes to higher price point shops and higher quality shops to explain to the customer, educate the customer that this is the reason why we charge a little bit more.
You know, I've been battling that. My team's been battling those lower prices all over the country.
Yep.
I you know, it's happened in coating.
Yep.
And there's some markets that have absolutely been destroyed by new installers coming in, undercutting the coating market.
Mm-hmm.
You have a little bit. I mean, some people would say a lot in PPF. You have that going on. Vinyl. You know, it happens everywhere in every business.
Yeah.
But my one comment to that is just, if you just study sales and marketing until you do $1 million a year or even $500,000 a year, you won't have to undercut. You'll never have to undercut. It's a full-time job. It's a lifelong career just to learn one of those skills. Mm-hmm. And in one piece of those skills, right? It's kind of like saying, hey, I'm great at doing window tint, vinyl, PPF. I mean, what else am I missing here? Every kind of install you can imagine,
yeah.
Paint correcting. It's like, you're probably great if you've been doing that for a decade or so, but there's also an argument there that you could be even better if you just did one or two of those things. So when it comes to sales and marketing, if you just focus on that as a new business owner, you're not, and you learn that. The entrepreneur has to understand it.
Yep.
You're not going to have to undercut so much. You're not going to have to always default to undercutting the market.
And that's where I'm at right now. I remember talking about time and where I'm spending it, and that's where I'm trying to help myself through individuals like yourself and companies like yourself, but also help my employees like Nora and Bella. Nora, she's handling the leads with me as well. I'm her secret weapon. You know, that's what I call myself. Is like,
there you go.
When you need me, call me. You know, I can lock these guys in. You know, they try to upsell on the phone and this and that, and they drop off their car for a full front, and all of a sudden they're doing a full body and a coating application. You know,
yeah. But here's the thing: like we did sales training, right? And man, you know how to build value. You're an incredible sales guy, and I think that's one of your secret weapons. I really do. I think that's one of your.
It's the psychology of human beings, man. Honestly, it really is. It is all about psychology. And I try to explain that to Nora and Bella. The biggest hurdle, you know, I think for sales is the fear of losing on a sale, right? Mm-hmm. It is, what is that? FOMO.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out.
Right.
Right. That's exactly what it is. And that's, I think, what Nora struggles with, because price points are probably the most difficult aspect. Hey, you're $500 more expensive than this guy I got a quote from, right? This guy is charging the same price, but I'm getting a free 5-year coating. Okay. Now, where do we go from there, right? You know, you got two ways to approach it. Why are you calling me? Right? We've talked about that before. It's a little blunt. It's a little brash.
Right.
Why are you calling us?
You got to know your audience.
You got to know
that tactic.
Yeah. For me, it's like, I understand. You know, I understand that there's somebody that quoted you that, quoted you this. Now, let's see why they quoted you what they quoted you. And can we go over the details of the invoice that they provided you for that quote? You know, let's see. Are they missing something that we're offering you? You know, the little details like that can help you kind of overcome that objection in a way, right? Because we got to be honest to ourselves too. Most people are shopping around, and when they're shopping around, they're trying to find the debt. That's why the 99-cent store exists. Well, not anymore. They're going out of business. That's why the dollar store exists. That's why there's a Walmart. But that is also why there's Louis Vuitton, BMW, Mercedes.
They're shopping more now than ever.
Exactly. Right. So you got to get a perspective. And I tell Nora this. It's like, you got to think like them, right? You do have to. Are they shopping for a Toyota but going to BMW and trying to get a deal? Because if you learn that straight off the bat, if you already learn they're looking for discounts, it makes life a whole lot easier.
Right.
You don't waste your time. You don't waste their time. Because when you're coming to a shop like ours, and we're not the only shop, you know, there's tons of other great shops around in the Valley. We are at a higher level when it comes to quality and results and experience, right? And everything we have from start to finish with your experience is included in that price. The coffee machines in the shop, the full service TVs, Netflix, Hulu, Disney, YouTube Premium, everything, right? The nice remodeled bathroom here. I mean, you saw a nice bathroom.
Yeah.
There's nice tiles, all that stuff. The lighting, the employee, even the smile on the face of an employee, that costs money, right?
So how do you approach your sales? Because you do ask a premium, and you get it most of the time.
Most of the time, and sometimes we don't. And I'm not scared of not getting it, right? I'm just not scared of somebody who can't afford a more premium product. If you can't go for it, if it's a little bit out your budget, it's fine. It's no hard feelings.
What's your sales philosophy?
My sales philosophy is figuring out that individuals' needs and problems, right? Mm-hmm. Start with that, okay? I know you're calling about PPF, and I had this on somebody called about a Monte Carlo that we booked a week from now. Called about full body paint protection film. Car's 26, 27 years old, original paint.
Right.
As soon as I heard that, ma'am, I don't know if paint protection is for you. And she was on it. She wanted it, man. I could have made that full body sale, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, at what cost? The headache of my technician dealing with crappy edges and a crappy paint job that's almost 30 years old, and then we have to do a lift and it peels that original paint off, and now we're even in bigger problems.
And you're not just going for the bag, you're going for the benefit of the customer.
I'm going for the benefit of my customer and also my employees. Imagine doing a full body application on a 30-year-old car.
Yeah.
You know, with no pattern available, right?
Yeah.
Most shops are gonna be like, get her in, you know? I don't do that. Ma'am, what are your concerns? Are you concerned with chips and scratches? Because I'm sure you already have them on the car right now. She's like, yeah, it's got a few dings, a couple chips. Paint looks really nice, it's shiny. But okay, ma'am, so if you already have the chips and some scratches, let's do a paint correction and coating application instead. That's gonna benefit you even more. And guess what? It's a quarter or half the price of a full body application. I still made the sale, right?
Right.
But even though I didn't make a $7,000 sale, I made a $3,000 sale, but that extra left over saved me the headache of problems when it came to a full body application on a 30-year-old car, you know?
And I mean, the story, the testimonial that you're going to get from that customer is that, man, he did a better job and I saved money with them.
Yeah.
You got to go to 48 Detail. Like, that's how word of mouth is built. And at the end of the day, that's how you get more paying customers too.
Yeah, and I guess the key word is value. And, you know, I've always wanted to, this is actually probably going to be one of the first podcasts I do for 48 Detailing, is how to help consumers shop. Because I don't think a lot of consumers know how to shop.
Well, it's consultative sales, right? Instead of just, oh man, I kid you not, instead of just being an order taker, right? And let's describe an order taker, because again, you and I have had very detailed sales conversations.
Very detailed regarding this, yeah.
An order taker is when someone comes, they come to your business, or most often they give you a call, and the next thing that comes to your mouth is like, oh, hi, how can I help you?
Yeah.
And then you go into, oh, what are you looking for? Okay, well, paint protection film starts. And within 2 minutes, you're already talking pricing with these people. You didn't ask them a question. You didn't say, hi, how's your day? You didn't break any ice. You just went straight in for the close. And okay, I think, and then you hold your breath after you say the pricing.
Yeah.
And then it's the classic old school sales tactics that don't work, where you just hold your breath and you wait to see who talks first.
Exactly.
And then whoever talks first loses or wins. Like, that stuff still exists.
And
people still think that works.
It happens both on the salesperson's end, but we gotta admit sometimes we get those customers who don't even want to go through that.
Whenever I'm doing coaching, and sorry not to cut you off, whenever I'm talking to somebody and they come to me for sales advice, I ask them, well, okay, what's your speed to the lead look like? Oh, okay, cool. You get to them when you get time. That's not always. Or the other answer is, I'll get to them within an hour. Okay. Yeah. What's your answer rate look like? That's always my second question. And that's always an interesting question.
Yeah.
That's always I always get an interesting response, because when you ask them that second question, it's like, half the time they answer. Yeah. Oh, well, or if the answer is, man, well, it's rare that they'll answer me.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they bought from the guy down the street. If you're shopping around, people are not going to wait an hour.
They're not. They're typically within that hour have already called 3 or 4 other shops.
So how much potential are you missing out on if you don't get to those people fast enough, right? Real quick, before you go into it, the last thing, because I want to give you this so that we can kind of bounce off of this. The last thing that I always ask them is I say, how long is your phone call? It goes back to the same point. How long is your phone conversation? I'm off. They brag about it. If you brag about how fast you get on and off the phone, you're missing the whole boat. You're missing the whole story here.
For sure. Of course, you don't want to be on the phone for an hour.
No, unless it's someone who wants like their 3 cars done because they're a car collector, and then you're like, hey, let me take you out to dinner, right?
Yeah, exactly. The guy said, I know those posts. Oh, yeah, this is how you make a sale. Take them down for a steak dinner and then go to the go-kart racing track, and then we booked a $5,000 job. I mean, you can go to that extent, right? And we see guys bragging about that all the time. And I think that's just like, that's not excessive. That's just fucking idiotic. I'm sorry. Listen, you want
most of the time those guys are like returning customers.
Steak dinner. What else? You want a happy ending at that? I don't think right? If I need to go to that extent of making a sale, I mean, it's too much, right? And yeah, I mean, you've seen it. You've seen it.
I know.
Yeah, I know. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, man. I mean, build the relationship, right? Be kind, be respectful, provide them the education and knowledge. But again, it goes back for me, the most important part. What do you need and what are your problems?
Yes.
Because that's what we do. We find solutions to problems. And, Jim from Dr. Beasley's, I don't know if you've experienced, I think you guys know each other. Jim from Dr. Beasley inquired about some,
Yes.
Jim from Dr. Beasley's put it in the most optimal way when it comes to describing what we do. We make people's lives better and easier.
I love that.
That's all we do.
Yeah.
Not having to wash your car every week saves you time, makes your life easier. Looking back at your shiny car after going to the grocery store or something like that and really appreciating it makes their life better.
And what you're saying by that is you're supposed to solve their problem. You're supposed to actually care about what's going on. You're not just looking for the sale.
What I'm trying to say is, where can I improve this person's life? In their car ownership experience. That's my end goal, right? That's all we're trying to do when it comes to sales. Find the problem, find a solution, see if it makes that person's life better within budget, and go from there.
If you wouldn't do it yourself, don't recommend it.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Don't just sell to sell. Every question that comes out of your mouth should not be a way to get a bigger sale, bigger ticket, more money out of the customer.
We're again, complete transparent honesty. We're not working on Ferraris all the time. We're not working on Lambos. Dude, we are a middle to a little bit upper class, Surprise, Arizona, Peoria area. We get Teslas, we get BMWs, we get Mercedes, we get Ford Broncos, Jeep Wranglers, those Corvettes. Type of things, Cadillac Escalades, that type of thing. You do not need a full body on a fucking Cadillac Escalade.
Right.
You just don't. The thing is 4 feet off the ground. You're driving the kids to school, going to the grocery store, and coming back. Full front, door edges, door cups, trunk lip, done.
That's what they
get a coating, make it easy to clean.
And right? And again, it's not like you're not selling full bodies. You have a car that you're doing a full body on.
Yeah, the Charger. It's right. Like we do that. Yes,
but it's for the right audience. So how do you get in your sales conversation? How do you get to understand who is in front of you on the other side of that phone?
Oh man, it starts with a question. It starts with their initial statement. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for clear bra. I already know they're only like 25 to 30% knowledgeable about what.
How do you know that?
Clear bra. It's a very old term.
Right.
And we're right next to Sun City. I could tell by the voice. I could tell already the age of that individual, Now,
do you think that that's because you've done this call hundreds or thousands probably?
Yeah, it's with time and paying attention to the little details. If I hear a little bit of an older voice on the line, I hear them have a Lexus, I hear them talking about a partial application clear bra, I already know the other person on the phone completely. I understand they're most likely from Sun City, and 90% of the time I'm right. I also understand their only experience with clear bra is a partial application, because that's what they've had for the past 30 years of their life. On all their Lexuses, that partial hood, partial fender, no headlights, half-ass bumper. I know this because we see it all the time. I intrigue them with the full front idea. I'm not trying to sell them, right? I'm asking, well, I know if you had a partial in the past, I know that's what you're looking for now, but what if we're able to get rid of that seam line on the hood and the fender, give you a better aesthetic look and more protection? And it's really, when you think about it, not that much more, right? And the way we even price out our categories when it comes to film, I use the rule of 3. We have 3 packages for film, 3 sizes.
Right.
That's it. Listen, it could be the most difficult fucking, excuse my language, I've been saying that a lot, installation ever. But I'm not saying it's a large plus this level of difficulty when it comes to price point. It's just this. That's it. Keep it simple for the sales team. That is a big part of doing with the sales process too. If you got this many a la carte options and this many categories for each specific vehicle, no, do 3 categories and that is it. We got 3 coating packages, 3 levels of PPF, 3 detailing packages, done.
Make it simple for the customer.
Make it simple for the customer.
Right.
Make it simple for your sales team. That's it. Previously, when we started with PPF, we had small, medium, large. And on top of that, we had easy complexity, medium complexity, hard complexity. You know, I'm like, it's too much. It's just too much.
So you're not going into like 9H hardness and this is how the top code is.
Why? Does 90% of customers know what 9H hardness is? When a customer tells me expel, I already know they don't know nothing about film.
Right. You know, I think, oh man, that's such a good
And no
point
offense to guys that use expel.
Right,
but
right.
What I'm learning from that statement from that customer is that all he knows is one company's marketing material.
Right, and that's a good point there. Like how all the big brands, right? How all the big brands market to you as a business owner is not how you should communicate market
to the consumer, man.
It is not. It doesn't equal that way. Like, yes, you need to know the complexities for that. The 5% of customers, the 10% of customers that do want that. There's enthusiasts out there that want the technical
Of course,
side.
yeah.
But for the vast majority, the 80%, the ones that are going to increase revenue the most for your business, that's not how you communicate or market to those people. You know, when we make full circle, right? Media Tune, we were the first ones to introduce video marketing to this industry years ago. We did not go out and start talking about 9H hardness. I didn't talk about the brands. I didn't talk about, you know, if we started the video and said, hi, my name is Ray Padilla, I'm the owner of ABC Shop Automotive, it would be a disaster. What we did is we did the same thing that happens in the sales processes, is we talked about what they wanted, their pain points, and communicated to them in their terminology. But I love what you said there. You said that you start by asking them questions.
Yeah.
I like to call it the needs assessment. What happens when you go into the doctor's office? The classic sales example, right?
Yeah.
They sit down, they give you a clipboard, they have you fill out all these questions, and then the doctor comes in, they ask you the same things again, right? Or they ask you more questions.
Yeah.
And then you have a full-on conversation where they, after they've loaded up with all that information, then they give you their professional recommendation based on your unique situation.
Exactly. And in a way, we are kind of like doctors when it comes to automotive realm of things. And
car doctors?
Car doctors, sure, if that's what you want to call it. I mean, we are the experts. And you know, confidence is a big thing when it comes to sales too. Confidence is a big thing when it comes to everything. When it comes to installing film, you know, I was at a point where I'm not a film installer. I was forced to learn film. I was forced to learn paint protection film, tint, all that stuff. I was a detailer.
Hey, who forced you to learn PPF?
The business.
The business?
The business forced me to learn PPF.
I was hoping you were going to say, Ray, I think you had a little bit to do
Oh,
with
Ray,
that.
yeah. Oh, of course. But you are part of the business.
I was like, here's these PPF leads here. You got to do something.
You are part of that puzzle piece of the business. Autofilm Mastery, Media Tune, Ray is part of this business in a way. Like we've always talked about this, you know, we look at ourselves almost like a little partnership in a way.
100%.
You know,
Yeah.
we help you, you help us. I pat you on the back, you pat me on the back, that type of thing,
Sometimes
right?
you get a little massage in every once in a while.
Hey, don't tell Amanda and Samandra. It's okay. It is what it. No, I'm joking.
You're funny, dude.
Yeah, so it's part of it, right? But going back to it, it's like, yes, we are in a way doctors, and some cars we work on are like so valuable. It's like, it's crazy, you know. Some people, like, you look at the car industry, there's some cars out there that people value more than a person's life. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I've worked on a $1.5 million Roadrunner back in Chicago. You know, it's crazy to think that you have the control over the health of this vehicle and the preservation of this piece of history, right?
Right.
So you need to make the right decision on how to preserve this thing. And it's about preservation, you know, for us specifically. We get customers that come in that wanting a two-step correction. It's not a good idea to do that two-step correction. You know, measure the paint. You don't really have too much paint left. You want to keep this car for a while. Best thing to do, light polish and coat. I know it might not be perfect, but trust me when I tell you this, at least you're not going to run into faded and oxidized paint in a couple years. You know, those are the kind of decisions that you have to make, the things that you need to look at, the questions that you need to ask. I look at the customer as an individual. I try to pick at their brain a little bit just to see what's going on and what they want.
I love
But
that.
then I also have to assess the vehicle and see what it needs. I take an accumulation of those two perspectives and come with a decision to the customer on this is our best recommendation for you.
I love that so much. I really do. I mean, when you ask those great questions, you're going to feel a shift. You're going to go away from the order taker, away from the salesman, and you're going to step into being an expert.
Yeah.
Because you ask those great questions, the customer feels heard. They see that you have much more interest, and you should have much more interest and a more genuine intention behind your recommendations. After you get all those questions answered, when you give them your recommendation, and now they're asking you more questions. They're using you as the point of reference.
Yeah.
You are the absolute pro in that situation, but it only happens if you start by asking those great questions.
Yeah, it's trying to become a friend to that individual in a way. You know, we've built some great relationships with customers. You know, I go back to a Z06 customer, Tino, one of our best customers ever. We worked on a bunch of his cars, his C8s. You know, we're known for C8s. I don't think there's any other shop in the valley that's done more C8s from us. I mean, we had number 3 out of the first 5 off the lot.
Oh, wow.
One of the first, I think it was the first C8 in the state of Arizona. You know,
So is that why you bought the C8, or is it because you have a C8?
it's because, no, I bought the C8 because we are in that market. That C8 has already landed us multiple other C8s and multiple other jobs. It's made his money back.
So you're saying that's a sales tool?
It's a sales tool.
100%
yes, of
tax
course.
write-off.
It's not at my
100%
house.
tax write-off.
It's not at my house. It sits here at the shop constantly. You know, I rarely take that thing out. It's got a little dust on, but typically we keep it clean for customers to walk
Unless
around.
you're going to win another car show, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, there
right?
it is.
Yeah, so that's what that
Congratulations
is for.
on that, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, so that's what it's there for. And all these little pieces will go into the sales process and give you the result that you're looking for. And it's not going to be perfect. You know, you're going to run into customers like, can I just get the price already? Okay, sure, I can give you a price, but we're not going to go anywhere with that. What's the point of a price if you don't know what you're getting for it? You know? So you run into that every once in a while, but it's a rarity. You know, I would say 1 out of every 10 customers are those hard-headed individuals, so that just want the number and don't care about anything else. And hey, at the end of the day, they're doing it themselves. Chase after that price and see what happens, right?
I feel like business owners, and I know people in sales and business owners, they fixate on that one character trait that you just mentioned there. They just want the number, or the person that is really analytical and like, oh, no, like my clientele, they always want X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of short-sighted. You have to realize you have multiple personality types that you have to master in sales, that you have to understand. First of all, you have to identify it.
Yeah.
And then you have to master it. But really, it comes down to just maybe half a dozen, handful of different personality types that you'll constantly sell to, right? There's a lot of great sales training out there that breaks them down into 4, 5, 6 different categories. But that one that you just mentioned there, you got to know how to, deal with someone who wants to hard close you.
Yeah.
Or the other person that just is really more emotional. It's more of an emotional sell to that.
It is, yeah. And like I said before, it's all about psychology, guys. Start learning people. Really start learning people. Their demeanor over the phone, their demeanor in person, their enthusiasm about a question. Right. I can spot something in a conversation with these questions that we ask, right? If I ask, like, are chips a concern for you? And they just, yeah, that's my concern. Okay, gotcha. Now, are you worried about fading and oxidation? Different type of reaction towards that question. Right? Even though they might say yes, but it's also like, yeah, kinda. I mean, sure, Words, diction, demeanor, enthusiasm, all those will play a part in that sales conversation, so you can have a better idea of who you're dealing with. You don't even need to see the person or the car in person, I can get a really good general understanding of what is going on. Rarely do appointments change in a way like major change. Typically it's an upsell on a coating or upsell into a coating package. But when it comes to paint protection film, it stays pretty much spot on after that phone conversation.
Right.
Only once in a while we add lower rockers, or we add this and that. But generally speaking, if it's a full front, it's most likely going to be a full front when that car comes in through the door, because we already did most of the process over the phone to get a general understanding of what that car needs and what the customer is looking for. categorize it, needs, wants, take a look at the psychology of the individual and the car that you're working on, and then go from there.
Bro, so when are we doing sales training?
Dude, you set a date, bro. We'll make it happen.
Let's do it. On my last interview with Ryan Townsley, I said, hey, when's the what was it? The Marine Film Mastermind.
The Marine Film Mastermind.
Got a bunch of people commenting and messaging me about that. So comment, message, actually put it in the comment section on this video. Let's get Zaia to do a sales training. I think that'd be great,
man. I approach things similarly to like what other people do, but also in a different way. Like my focuses are in different areas, So, the way that you might sell, everyone sells a little bit different, but the basics are still there, right? The basics are still there. We might have a larger focus on certain aspects of that sales process more than others, and it takes you to a different route every once in a while, but you're still getting to the end goal, which is a sale, right? And right now, what we're trying to work on is our follow-up. Because let's be honest, Tint was a great platform, but they don't have the best way to organize, your leads based off of it. Hey, are we still cold? Are we medium? Are we hot?
Right.
Did we follow up with this person? Did we not? Right? So that's what we're working on specifically right now between me and the girls is how do we organize all these potentials that we have, even though we called them, even though that they might have gotten a price, but where are they at right now? Because we all know your sale doesn't necessarily happen on call 1 or call 2. It could be call 3, 4, or 5. Right? And when you're making a decision, and for us, it might not seem like a lot because we're dealing with these numbers every day. It's a $2,000 full front. What are you complaining about $2K?
Right.
But for a person that this is their first time, $2,000 is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot, and it is a lot of money. I don't care what you say about inflation, this and that. $2K is a lot of money.
Right? We get numb to it because you just see those numbers and talk about
numbers
every day, all day.
I remember 3-4 years ago, I used to have $1,000 coding job book. I'm like, hell yeah,
it's huge.
It's huge. Now it's like you get a $5,000 package in full front, lowers, 5-year coding, interior coding package. It's like, where's the next? I've seen this before. It is what it is. I blink at a 5-year coding application now. Nothing excites me besides a full front 5-year interior coating package full of paint correction anymore.
There you go.
You're just used to it. But for your consumer, might be their first time.
Yeah.
So if they're making a big decision like that, they might sleep on it for a month. They might sleep on it for 2.
I mentioned way earlier when we first started that you're one of the highest reviewed shops in Arizona in the whole state. Which again, congratulations on that too. That's
I think we're number 2. We got a big lead amongst everybody. There's just one other shop. I got my own thing on that, but we can talk about it.
Well, here's my thing. I know your customer service, man. Your whole customer experience is just incredible. Starts with the sales conversation. That's the first part of the brand being built in the customer's experience. It starts with that first phone call. We just talked about the sales experience. But man, when they come into the shop, when you hand them back the keys, I remember you were saying, man, I just want to put something. What'd you put in the cars when you deliver now?
So we have a little bit of a customer care package that we put in each vehicle. It's a 48 detailing folder. We always write a hand thank you card in there.
That's incredible.
We put a sticker on the side if it's PPF, if it's coded, date of application. So if they ever sell it, the person in the future knows what's going on with the car. Depending on the price point of the package, we put a little bit of care package with the products so they have everything that they need to maintain the vehicle as well. All these little things we try to do, to just make the experience a little bit more fulfilling. And there's been times, I've seen these guys post pictures of them putting champagne and this and that. Dude, I've been doing that since 2020. Anytime someone does a full body, you look it up in the system. It's in our care package thing. Levels. If somebody spends more than $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, there's certain levels to it. I gotten people $300 bottles of champagne.
So tell me, where's the steak dinner? Where's the steak dinner? Where does that come in?
That is just for Ray until you get sick of eating steak for the rest of his life.
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. I'm telling Mike Tomei, it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Auto Image East Brunswick.
We're carnivores, man. We just love it. He
always makes fun of me. Yeah. Every time I post something about me eating steak, it's becoming a thing now, I guess. It's funny. Huh?
It is what it is, man.
So we're going to get lunch after this, right? I don't feel like coffee and entrepreneurship are like peanut butter and jelly. No?
Don't disrespect peanut butter and jelly
That's my favorite.
Dude,
that's why we've had this conversation. I know that's my favorite.
If I was on death row, like, what's going to be your last meal? My peanut butter, grape jelly, and a glass of whole milk. And I'm lactose intolerant, so I haven't had milk in fucking years.
Yeah, you got to switch to almond milk, change your life.
Yeah, but that's not milk, bro.
It is.
No, it's not milk.
And then oat milk is even better. It's even creamier.
No, it tastes nasty, bro. I can't do it. So I just don't drink milk anymore. It is what it is.
You know, Apollo, when are we going to get this thing on like Spotify and iTunes? I wonder, because, you know, people love driving and listening to these interviews.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're thinking. Like, man, I was just so into the sales conversation. What just happened? Now we're talking about Starbucks and peanut butter jelly.
Oh, man, we could get into a lot of things, But, yeah. I mean, is there anything else?
No, I mean, man.
We went over a lot.
We can keep going for days, man. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you letting me come in. I appreciate you creating the podcast studio for me. I'm just joking. You know, I can't wait to see what you do in this place. 48 Detailing, guys. If you're not following Zaia, you got to follow 48 Detailing. Is there anything you want to say to the Auto Mastery community?
Oh, man. I mean, stick with what you guys got going on if you are part of the community, you know? I mean, business is a lot, and we all get overwhelmed every once in a while. But knowing that you're not alone in it. Listen, Ray's in the same position that I'm in. Just in a different type of business. Right? That's right. We're all in the same spot, guys. We're just at different levels of it. And we look at that fully grown tree and realize, well, it starts from a beginning and it takes time to get to that point, right? I mean, you've done a lot of interviews with a lot of other guys that are shops 3-4 times bigger than me. You know, that are
one's
bringing
a grocery store, the Disneyland of cars. Ryan,
Ryan,
you know,
like
Mike
Ryan,
too.
for example.
Mike's in that category too.
You know, but Ryan's got how many years on me?
20.
You know, he's got 20 years on me. Okay, so we got this from zero, nothing. I used to detail out of a $2,000 Chevy HHR Mobile for 8 months, right? Okay, had 160,000 miles on it, and now we're $1 million+ company in about 4 years.
At 26,
and it compounds, okay? The difficulty of getting from 0 to $1 million is very different than the difficulty getting from $1 million to 2, and 2 to 3, and then 3 to 6, and 6 to 10. And that's how it escalates, right? And you talk to any business owner, it's like that. So you might be seeing that beautiful tree grown and flourishing and all this stuff, but you got to remember where it started and where it's going to go from there, you know? But yeah, it's like the best advice I can give to anybody that's out there. And if you are in the Arizona area, if you ever had a question or need a hand with anything, just keep me posted. Let me know.
Very well said, brother.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man.
No problem, bro.
I appreciate you.
Good talk, brother. Good talk.